Our sanity is what we're hoping for.
So here we go. EndSpace is today's game. Now, I'm not generally a huge fan of shooting things in general, because it's all a little bit, I don't know, it's a bit sameish. Like it's satisfying. Whoa! It's satisfying to aim and get things, but I just think the gaming world is obsessed with shooting, and I find it a bit dull. Whoa! Hello, mate. Hello. Well, have you got something in your eye? Well, wiping it's not going to work. Right, so here we are in, that's my spaceship, I guess. That's where we're going to get in that bad boy and go and run some missions. I like the sound effects in the background here. You've got some beeping, you've got some sort of sound of someone doing some welding. You've got all these fast-moving particles in the background. That's kind of cool. I like the sparks. I like the gas. I think you can hear. There's a really good soundscape in here. I can hear. There's some sort of a pressure release valve, and this is some kind of air conditioning unit pumping out. What would be steam? Hot air? Cold air? Not sure. Let's say hot air. Space is cold. You want to be warm inside. That's got to be hot air. But yeah, it's very complex, beautifully rendered. Anyway, you don't care about that. I obsess about these things. So I did the tutorial. I did the first mission, which was 34 gobanos, whatever the hell that is. This is the Tartarus sector, and apparently there's some illegal mining in Thanatos.
Illegal mining has been reported in the crystal fields of the Thanatos system. No one steals from the UTC. Find them and destroy them.
So basically the storyline is I am a mercenary, a hired hand, who's coming in to help the UTC, whatever that is. The ultimate training confederation. The ultimate travel confederation. Yeah, so this is why I'm sitting, because now I'm in the right kind of body position. So you steer with your head.
Crystal accumulations that formed millennia ago around the binary planetary system known as Nyx and Erebos. Destroy the miners before they can escape and sell off what they stole.
Destroy the miners, huh? Where are the miners? So yes, as usual, I'm slightly hindered by my dodgy control pad, because the top button of the left hand, which is my dodgy one, is boost. So if I want to thrust forward at great speed, I can't do it. I can, however, brake because the lower button works. But I don't think that's going to be a major problem here. Here are the miners. Right. So the trigger button is your cannons, and then this lock thing is the grip button, is your missiles. So you follow those arrows. I mean, I guess it's quite self-explanatory. But it's tricky to get used to using your head to steer and your hand to guide the guns. It took me a fair old while. Miners and cargo eliminated. What? But there's orange. I need to kill these people. Can't leave strays.
One of our spies reports that the Resistance has a warp drive prototype. You'll be extracting the prototype and meeting you at a rendezvous point. Return to base, contractor. Your Your next mission will follow shortly.
I need to kill off the remaining miners. Okay, there we go. I feel bad. They're just like... They're only robbing from the rich to give to the poor. Whoa. Ooh. One day this will be us for real, right? Mining asteroids. Like, we managed to drop a washing machine sized probe on... What was that asteroid called? 72P. You see, this is where... Oh, where's that light coming from? Ah. This is where a thrust would come in useful. Where's it gone? Uh-oh, I've lost my target. Where am I going? Whoa, look at that planet. Amazing. Well, there's the target. So you have to go through this sort of warp drive accelerate. Uh-oh.
We see 5 enemy fighters in your scan.
Gotcha! Woo-hoo-hoo! This reminds me of games that I played in the arcade, in the video arcade, which sort of had its time when the computer games were a little bit rubbish, but the arcade could offer a far better gaming experience. And some of the games that were available were a bit like this. You'd get into a sort of into a booth, into a cabin, and it would provide 3D sound. But to be able to do this just 10, 15 years later in my living room is pretty extraordinary that technology's caught up. And obviously it's so much better. But my one criticism would be, apart from looking like up, down, left, right, I don't really need it to be in VR because I never ever like turn around to look behind me because there's nothing to see. Whoa.
I guess we know what was responsible for the interference. Clearly they understand the importance of this crystal field and aren't ready to give it up without a
Wow,
fight.
how come that's spinning round and round
Let's
me?
make sure they don't get another opportunity.
Oh, that made me very dizzy. Sorry, it probably made you dizzy too. How am I doing at staying relatively still? Am I doing your head in? See, that was quite intense. So I need some coffee. Okay. So I killed 13 enemies. They seem to like giving you 13 targets. Not that I'm superstitious or anything, but that seems like a coincidence that the first 2 missions involve killing 13 enemies in only 5 minutes and 38 seconds, which isn't bad. See, main menu, that slightly ruins the illusion of going back to base. This guy doesn't have much to do apart from just sort of standing around looking bored. Nice outfit though. Okay, Thanatos miners have been dealt with. Time to go to Upraya. Yeah, so I feel like this is a game that was made just as a general game, and then they've repurposed it for virtual reality, rather than thinking, hey, what could we do in VR that's impossible elsewhere?
The ship he escaped in was rigged with a remote self-destruct.
A remote
We
self-destruct?
suspect the cargo was also remotely ejected and need you to ensure that the resistance
the
does
cargo?
not get the device back.
What device? What device?
Getting them there shouldn't be an issue since they'll have to
Scan
use
the
one
containers.
network.
Okay, scan the
Lucky
containers.
for us, this is where our new Minos prototype allows a distinct advantage. Getting you in a system before our enemies without putting the carrier at risk. That ends at the Tartarus Liberation Front.
What the hell's going on that planet? That's weird. Is that a glitch? no weather system on any planet moves that fast, I'm sure. Yeah, so to begin with, I kind of got frustrated that everything happened so slowly. But then I realized, actually, why should everything happen at 1,000 miles per hour? Like, why not enjoy looking around as you make your way slowly over to the target?
Scanning. Scanning. Scanning.
Okay.
Shield critical.
Oh, right. Stop bumping into that then, if the shield is critical. What do I scan with? So I maybe scan with the grip button. Yeah, so another criticism is that because you steer wherever your head is pointed, it makes it very hard.
Scanning.
Ah.
Scanning. Empty.
It makes it hard to sort of look around and enjoy.
Scanning. Scanning.
Warp signatures detected. Looks like
Enjoy
the
what you're
TLS
doing,
scouts have
because
arrived.
you'll move.
That prototype is UTC intellectual property. If you're so interested in our intellectual property, oblige us. The trigger finger is resting on stuff.
I feel like I'm getting better at shooting these bad boys. Oh, I see it showing you where to aim, and you have to aim a little bit in front, because otherwise, by the time the bullets get there, or the plasma gets there, woo, that was good. That was satisfying. By the time the plasma gets there, it will have moved away from its position, so you have to aim a little bit in front, it seems. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting efficient at weakening them with plasma laser pulses. And then getting a few missiles in. Whoop. Yeehaw! I don't know what the meaning of this is. What is the meaning of this? Okay, now I have to get back to scanning, do I? Yeah, so it's hard, I'd like to be able to go in this direction and look the other way as I'm going past. Now, I believe there is an option to disable, to use the joystick to drive so that your head is free to look around. But because of my trackpad issues, this is not possible. I don't understand. Why won't you let me scan you?
Scanning. 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 Scanning.
So
Scanning.
oh,
That's
you
gotta be it.
scan with the,
Private and go
you
before
point the
the
guns at
TLS
it, but you
show up.
don't pull the
The
trigger.
additional mass is too much for the small warp
So you
drive of your
can-
Minos. My mission control ship is sitting just a small distance from the AO. We're warping to you. Sit tight.
You're warping to me. What an honor.
Meet Onager Alpha, the Condottiera's mission control freighter. Rendezvous and transfer the device. Step on it. This ship isn't meant for combat.
I can't step on it, my button's broken. Now you might wonder why I haven't changed this dodgy trackpad, this dodgy motion controller. But quite frankly, I've already changed one at great expense, and I'm very reluctant to change another.
Another wave of TLF fighters has arrived.
Oh.
Keep them up on your alpha while we triangulate our warp vector.
Uh-oh, bogies.
Reported. Further scans indicate the device is a bomb. Keep the fighters at bay while we disable the device.
That? Oh, does that mean he's dead? Okay. Have I killed them all? Whoa. Oh, okay, so when the skull comes away, when the skull spins out of the center of the ship, you know they're dead. Ah, there we go.
The device has been neutralized.
Hooray.
I suspect this whole shindig was a ploy to oust our agent. I doubt they've even made enough progress to make a prototype. Warp out, contractor. We'll be right behind
Warp
you.
out, okay? I'll warp out. It's weird referring to a star pilot as a contractor. Okay. So I think we've all got the sense of what this game's all about, mission after mission. Is this the guy talking to us? It's difficult to know. So you have seen Thanatos and Eupraia, and all there remains to do is to go back to the riverside to talk about it. So, without further ado, you know what's coming, don't you, by now? Fast forward! So, let's get back to the beach. Well, what can I say? EndSpace. I'd give it a medium mark out of 10. Maybe a 6, 6.5, 7 at a push. The reason being that it's all well and good going to outer space. On the plus points, they've rendered the planets and the asteroids and the spaceships extremely well. It's a very attractive looking game. But it gets marked down on the fact that it's not really that critical that you play the game in VR. You can play that game through any gaming medium. It doesn't really utilize the unique functions of virtual reality. The mechanism whereby you steer according to where you look, I mean, maybe I just haven't got the hang of it yet. It could be that that's absolutely fine in the long run. But I found it frustrating. Quite often I would be looking at a target and trying to point at it with my hand, but then because you have a tendency to look at whatever you're targeting, I'd end up finding my view was obscured by a part of the roof of the spaceship, which was somewhat frustrating. It was great to have the freedom to kind of, you know, navigate, pull off really, really tight turns when you're chasing after another spaceship. And so, you know, I think perhaps it could be a grower rather than a shower. Immediately I was kind of like, meh, but maybe after, you know, several hours of gameplay, you end up loving it. I know that other people rate it very highly, so either I'm missing out on something that everyone else has spotted, or it's just not the greatest example of a game that works well in virtual reality. Like, if there's no reason in turning around, like if you turn around the cockpit, you see the back of the spaceship and nothing behind you. But the whole beauty of VR, from my perspective, in my view, as you know, is that as you move around in space with using your whole body, you can give your brain all that lovely information that makes you feel truly immersed. And this game doesn't really do that. You're looking in one direction. Sure, the world is 360 by 360, and by turning your head you can navigate very quickly in that world. But it lacks that human dynamic of moving around, interacting. Like, you know, if you could go behind into the back of the spaceship in order to, I don't know, take some wires out and put them back in again to re-rig the warp drive, or if there was something that you could do inside the cockpit, then I think it would be a really great VR game. But based entirely on what you see out of the screen, it's not all that. So I don't know whether I'd recommend it or not. I'm kind of on the fence a little bit. But anyway, thanks very much for coming to another lovely episode of Brain Man VR. Please comment, like, subscribe, do all those things. Any support I can get would be gratefully received. And when it comes to commenting, you know, feel free to say positive things, negative things, whatever you want. Just interaction. It'd be nice to know that people are out there. And also, if you want me to review anything, all you have to do is ask. Take it easy, and I'll see you next Tuesday.
Life. Reality. VR is amazing. Life. Much better.